Okay. Well, talented people out there, there are quite a number of them. And there could be a lot of people in this room as well. But the question is, how do you actually make them come back? Myself included, I did not really come back straight away to Malaysia after I graduated. There were many reasons, but most of it I thought that I wanted to actually experience employment abroad and also gain enough courage to actually face the truth in corporate Malaysia. But I think from the three young gentlemen over there, I'm actually talking from the perspective of a woman, because I thought in Malaysia, gender diversity, or if you want to be a CEO and if you're a woman, that's really not the thing that people always do. Like, if you're a man, then the chances are you're really quite sad to go there. So from your perspective, how do you actually tackle that issue, helping women to actually go break the glass ceiling? Thank you.
Reza, you want to take it?
Is it on? Good afternoon. I'm just like Dato' Johan myself. I'm energized when I see young people like yourselves. So I really applaud you all. Whenever I want to feel young, I always call young YCM members. I think, let me try and address your question in a different way. You've got to understand as well, I mean, you cannot stop people from leaving. And it's also difficult. In fact, that's $1 million question in terms of how do you track them back. And the question is really when you want them back at the peak of their career. Because often from our experience as well, the ones that do want to come back are the ones either for family reasons, their parents are old, and tendency is that these people as well tend to be more at the late 50s sort of, age bracket. The young ones, the dynamic ones like yourselves, are the ones who are actually going out there in terms of trying to try and get more experience overseas. And if you think about it, it's actually not a bad thing. From an individual perspective, it's not a bad thing. Because let me tell you that the demand for international experience, the demand for people with multicultural experience, that is huge. So I think in terms of, and again, if you look at it in a different perspective, who would want to work for a company, say Google? Raise your hands. Who would want to work for a company like Yahoo? Microsoft? No? Price Waterhouse? I knew I had to try that. Ken Kananga? Korn Ferry? See? But, I think what's going to happen is that, you got to have world-class companies, right? When you have world-class companies, it's like a talent magnet. People want to be associated with winners, don't they? They want to work for world-class companies. They even want to work with world-class leaders, right? So even in Malaysia, if you think about, a CEO that you emulate as your role model, chances are if that person or that person's organization call you, you would want to come back because you want to work for that person. So I think it's important to try and understand the push and the pull factor. Just a quick on gender. I'll be very honest. I'm a firm supporter of female advocacy. I think female makes good CEOs, as evident as you can see now. There are increasingly more female CEOs, with a little caveat. It depends on the situation and the kind of organization and what growth stage are they going to move in. Because tendency is that females tend to be very meticulous. So if you need a good CEO who's a housekeeper, who puts a house in order, before you can even move on, a female CEO tendency is that they make the best CEO. The guys, they tend to think a bit too outside, big picture, but if you need to expand the business, then probably a male will make a better CEO. So I'm not trying to deviate so much from your question, only to say that I support you fully, that I think you will see increasingly more and more females up in the hierarchy.